What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. And today we're going to be working on BMW 335i N54 setup. So real quick, this is not necessarily going to be like a heavy DIY or anything. It is going to be more like just some miscellaneous stuff. There are two things I was trying to work on today, and that would be the oil cooler, oil filter gaskets, and the engine mounts. I already took out the engine mounts, so they're not that difficult, especially after removing the subframe. Relating to the engine mount, I just want to show you something about those and why it's important to change them, especially if you're going to do a big project over time, especially a high mileage BMW. You definitely got to consider replacing those engine mounts. Before we start, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and let's get down to it. Before we start, real quick, I want to mention something about the last video I posted relating to the oil pan and oil pan gasket. A viewer mentioned that I should not reuse the oil pan bolts, and he's 100% correct. Unfortunately, I thought I did, but I did not mention it in the video. I replaced those bolts off camera. These are the old bolts right here. It's important why not to reuse these. These are aluminum bolts. They can be stretched when you torqued, and so when you reuse them, they're not going to be as strong. And then obviously when they fail, then you're going to have oil leak. Can't have that, right? But anyways, just want to mention that to anybody when you work on cars like BMW. Anything that was recommended or considered to be replaced, just replace it, especially if it needs to be torqued. Aluminum bolts can only use once, so FYI on that. So as you can see, these are the older engine mounts. They're really dirty. They seem like they've been through it. As you can see how crooked this is comparing to this one. This one was pretty much shot. Like, if I use one finger, see how I'm able to move that so easily? Comparing to the new one, it's pretty much stationary. Can't really move it at all. So this is the passenger side where the turbo is. I can see why this one fails. I'm comparing to the driver's side. This is where the hot side is. This is where it's right next to the turbo, all that heat and stuff like that. So I can see why the passenger side tends to wear out prematurely comparing to the driver's side. But usually when you replace this one, go ahead and replace that one. I always replace them in pairs. That's pretty much it when it comes to the engine mounts. We're done with that. Now let's go ahead and start with the oil cooler slash filter gasket. We're going to start by draining the coolant, because I haven't drained the coolant yet, which I need to anyway, especially when you're working on a turbo. So I'm going to go ahead and drain the coolant, and then we start taking off, disconnecting the bolts and everything. So before we start, I just want to show you all the stuff that you need for the replacement. The gaskets for the oil cooler and for the oil filter. And you're gonna have all the bolts that you're gonna replace. And then these two O-rings is for the ports that connects to the lines for the oil cooler as well. Also, you're gonna need one of these flex. This is gonna be a E10. You're gonna need that flex head to get in that tight corner. If not, you'll probably have to pull out the intake manifold out. And also you need a E12 as well. Just a little extension to get to that tight corner with this bolt. And we should be fine with this. Because I already have an aftermarket oil cooler line. If you have the stock one, it would have been a 13 bolt to remove the whole thing out, just to have clearance here. One thing I hate about this is like it's not really a clean job per se, so tend to be a hell of a mess. So for oil filter housing, it appears to be the E10. So there should be one here, and then there's one more all in the back. But if you have one of these little flex suckers, this should help. There's one last bolt that's like behind here. It's kind of tight, so you definitely need something like this. I actually decided to order this from ECS Tuning. They had this with the kit, so I had to went ahead and order it. I'll leave the link down below if you don't have one, but if you do, lucky you, right? Hopefully you could see it, but I already connected the socket towards it, so that's where the hidden bolt is. Like I said, it'll be super easier if you had to remove the entire intake manifold, but with this tool you're able to actually fish it out. Now my curiosity is, it's easy to get out, but how hard is it going to get back in when you put the bolt in? But we'll see when we get to that part. All right, so that little tool that I bought is probably useless with me because for some strange reason I can't get it out. So I had to go ahead and remove the intake manifold. Now, I didn't really take it off all the way. I just obviously removed the bolts that connects to the port injected setup, as well as disconnect the charge pipe from the throttle body here. And I think that was pretty much it. You just gotta be gentle with it while you snug it over. Now the issue is, this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to take this out, because once you take it out, you gotta go ahead and replace the gaskets here, because you can't put that back in there. So that's unfortunate, but I gotta do what I gotta do. And I also recommend to replace the O-rings for the throttle body that's connected to the charge pipe. I recommend you do that just to minimize any chance of any boost leak once you put it back together. So I'm gonna go ahead and order those, probably knock that out off camera. But that little tool that I got, is it worth it? Well, to me it seemed like it was pointless, but it was like $5, so it's still good to have just in case. It might be useful for something else, but for now this is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and then take that off, and then we can remove the whole thing. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. So since I own this car, throughout the time I've owned it, I've replaced new gasket seals, all that good stuff, right? I've noticed a pattern. Valve cover had whatever the hell this sealant was. Same thing with the oil pan, right? And then now for the oil cooler, they went ahead and put the sealant here. Maybe the person before, when they did the service, because they don't want any oil leak to come back ever again, they went ahead and put all this stuff on it. So it took a while, but I finally cleaned it as best as I can. I pretty much used my little knife here and just kind of like try to scrape off the excess as much as I can. The fact that it's aluminum, you don't want to get too hard on it. You might scrape off the material of the aluminum itself, but I pretty much clean as much as best I can on both sections. And obviously it's the surface area of the oil cooler itself. So now that's done. So we're gonna try to see if we could put the oil cooler housing first, tighten those up, and then put the oil filter housing on the car and try to torque everything, and we should be straight. So let's get to it. So as you can see, I clean the surface area as smooth as I can, as much as I can. Make sure there's no excess that might be into each of the cavities here. So we're looking good. We're just gonna go ahead and put the whole assembly in. Torque spec on the oil filter housing is 22 Newton meters. Nice. And the one all the way in the back. There we go. Everything is torqued and everything is put together. So from here, all you gotta do is put this hose back together, connect it. Kind of have to shimmy it back, but it'll get in there. Don't forget your little clip. That's what I used to keep it together. So once that's secure, and that's good. For this part, you definitely want to get a new O-ring before you reinstall it back inside here for this port. I don't have the O-ring, so I'm gonna get one, but highly recommend you do that. If you have the plastic port for this, I don't know the exact part, but I will put it in the description below. This was already upgraded, but you want to do that. Typically the OEM is a plastic, and that tends to be all, you know, chewed up and stuff, but luckily they already replaced this before I got to it. Once you put this together, it's basically reconnect both connectors. So you have obviously the one right here that connects to here, and you got this last connector right here that goes right here. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna leave it as is right for now, mainly because I'm gonna order some parts, and I'm gonna go ahead and start working inside here, but I guess clean it up a little bit, get it organized before I put everything back together. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys later. Peace.